Okay, this is the Gold Key Education Guide for the visa application form to get an E2 visa to teach English in South Korea. This video is only going to deal with the visa application that you fill out to work in a public school in Korea. If you have applied and are being placed with a private language college or a Hagwon, then you do need to be using a different form, not this one. So the first thing you need to check is to make sure that the form that you're using has got this at the top in blue letters, 2018-612. That way you know that you are using the current visa form. And if we scroll down here, the first section is your personal details. Please get a 35 by 45 millimeter color photograph of yourself. Get it done at a studio or at a little Photoshop. You need to trim it to fit in this area here. Glue the picture here using stick glue, prick glue, something like that. Do not staple it. The rest of section 1 is fairly self-explanatory. Family name, that's your surname. Given name, this will be your first name and any middle names that you have. Don't worry about that one there. Tick here, obviously male or female. Your date of birth, you're going to write it in year, month, date format. Here you're going to write your nationality, here your country of birth, and 1.7 your national identity number. And you should find that on your passport as well as your personal ID documents. Okay, question 1.8. In most cases you're going to say no, unless you've been to Korea before and maybe got married since and changed your surname or your given names. So most people should be answering that one no. 1.9. If you have dual citizenship, you need to tick yes and list the other countries that you are a citizen of other than the passport on which you're traveling to Korea. Okay, the rest of page 1 is for the use of the embassy, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, then we go to page 2. And section 2 is just the information of your passport. So you're going to tick regular. You have a regular passport. You'd only have a diplomatic passport if you're parents are maybe working with the Department of Foreign Affairs. Your passport number is the top right-hand corner of your passport. Country of passport, that's obviously the nation that's issued you your passport. Place of issue, South Africans typically would just write here Department of Home Affairs. Date of issue, this is printed in your passport, and date of expiry is printed in your passport. So just transcribe that. If you've got any other valid passport, you do need to tick yes and give the nation that you have a second passport for. And then this information here would be a regular passport. Contact information. Here you'd give your home address. If you've packed up to go to Korea and stopped renting your apartment or your house, then obviously it would just be simpler to put maybe a family or parents' address there. You can put it there. Okay, question 3.2, only if it's different to the one that you've written above. Contact cell phone number and telephone number. Please put as you would dial it in South Africa, and your email address here. Emergency contact here, it's best to maybe put a sibling or a parent, their full name, country of residence, telephone number. I suggest you write this with international dialing tones and then explain the nature of the relationship. Marital status, this is all fairly self-explanatory. You're obviously going to put your spouse's details here. And again, if you have children, that page is fairly self-explanatory as well. Okay, education. Oops, there we go. So in most places, you're going to put a bachelor's degree. If you've got honors, just put bachelor's as your highest. South African fourth-year honours degree is a little bit confusing internationally. Obviously, if you've got a master's or a doctorate degree, you're going to tick that one there. Here you'd put your name of your university and the city, province, and country in which that university is located. Right, this is always a tricky one, employment. Some people fill in the details of the job that they're going to in Korea. Just keep in mind this is a generic visa form, so it's not just used for the issuing of E2 visas. This is also filled out by people going to Korea on vacation or going to Korea on a business trip. So that's why they ask all these general questions. You can put unemployed if you want. It's not going to impact negatively on your application. Remember that your visa has already been pre-approved by the Korean government. Otherwise, if you want to, you can put the details here of the job that you're on your way to take up in Korea. So it would be guest English teacher, and here you would fill in the details of the education department that is hiring you. You will find that information on the important notice for applicants form, the INSA form, that you were emailed and that you received with your contract. Okay, details of visit. So here you're obviously going to tick work. That's one over here. As you're going over to work. Intended period of stay. So if you're flying in February, for example, then you would put your arrival date. So you're going to put your 12 months, 365 days. It's a 1-year contract. Intended date of entry. This is just intended. If you put the day that Epic asks you to report and you end up flying 2 days earlier, it won't be a problem. But maybe put a day or two earlier. Address in Korea. Easiest thing here is just fill in the information of the education office that's hiring you. When the embassy deals with this, they'll have your contract in front of them as well, and they'll understand that you are applying for an E2 and that you have got a job waiting for you. This is a simple yes or no if you've been to Korea in the last 5 years. So here, if you have been, you would say how many times, and you would say, visit or work or whatever you were doing in Korea. Okay, this section you're only filling in if you've traveled outside of South Africa to countries other than Korea in the last 5 years. So you'd need to fill in the name of the country, the reason you visited, and the period you were there. Question 7, 8, you would only fill this in if you're traveling with family members, and this would be family members who are basically coming with you as dependents. Okay. Details of sponsor, question 8. So this again, you're now filling in the details of your the education office that's hiring you. It's on the 2 last pages of the INSA form. So you'd fill in, for example, Busan Metropolitan Office of Education. Obviously, date of birth you can leave blank because it's not a person. You just write here employer, and then the address and the telephone number you'll find on the INSA form. This funding details really is for businessmen going over or people going on a business trip or on holiday, just to show that they've got sufficient funds to finance their visit to Korea. So this is not a big problem for you. You can just put here $1,000. Who will pay for your travel-related expenses? Again, here you are going to put the details of the education office that's hiring you. So type of support, you just write employment, full-time employment. Okay, question 10, you don't need to worry about it. This is really only if a child under 18 has filled this out. Okay, very important here, please put today's date in full. So again, there's the format, year, month, date, fill it out there. And then it's very important that you put a full signature here on this line here where indicated. And that is the visa application form. And that just describes the process. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate. You can call Gold Key.